Today we're going to take you by a job site in Laurel, Delaware that we did a septic system and a well this week. We installed a LPP septic system and drilled a 4-inch water well and did all the pump work. We're also going to look at what I believe to be the difference between the successful people in our industry and the people that struggle, and that's the details. We're going to talk about the details of both septic systems and wells. Stay tuned. Details are everything in the well drilling business. It doesn't matter whether we're talking water, oil, or whatever. Details protect everyone's safety and make sure that we accomplish whatever goal it is that we're trying to accomplish. In this case, we're trying to accomplish a water well that produces plenty of water with no sand in the best quality that we can possibly get it. For us, the details start with safety, and that's everything from the equipment we're using, the procedures that we have in place for the company, and the balance between what's risky and what's necessary. Sometimes we have to set our rig up in some places that can definitely raise the risk, but it's necessary. So we have to balance those two to keep our crew and our equipment safe. The size of the well screen, the gravel selection, the bentonite selection, knowing how to mix the bentonite, knowing where the water is, where to stop the well, pump and fitting selections. All these things are absolutely crucial to producing a good product, and you have to know all of the options that are available and then how to use those options together to come up with the best possible system for your client. If you pick the wrong size screen, you can have not enough water, or you can let sand into the well. If you pick the wrong size pump, the owner may run short of water, or if the pump is too big, you may draw sand through the pumping system. Here in Delaware, we don't have a problem finding water. It's everywhere. We're surrounded by water on 3 sides, and we have many aquifers. It's not the same in the rest of the world, but we are very fortunate, and we don't have to worry about as much as where the water is, as much as it is trying to get the best water quality as possible. We use a host of different chemicals for all kinds of different reasons, and if you don't know what you're using and how to mix them, it can definitely create problems. And since the homeowner may very well be consuming the water that we're going to drill this well to supply, it's incredibly important that we are very sharp on all the details. On the septic side of our business, safety is everything there as well. Whether it's getting the equipment to and from the job, operating the equipment on the job, there's always a lot of things going on at the same time whenever we're on a job site, and it's vital that our details when it comes to safety and the equipment we're using are spot on. We pride ourselves on building the best relationships we possibly can when it comes to agencies like the Department of Natural Resources or the engineers that we work with or the soil scientists. We try to make sure that we have great industry relationships, but at the end of the day, one of the things we have a lot of pride about at Willey & Company is the fact that we work for the owner. So when we see things like a system that's double the size it's supposed to be, a pump that's double the size it needs to be, or a control panel that's 3 times the cost that it needs to be, we stand up for our homeowner and we fight to make sure that they're getting the best absolute bang for their buck. I think too many times people in our industry just kind of give a rubber stamp of acceptance anytime they see a permit. It's been done by a professional, it's been approved by the state or county, it's got to be good, right? Well, everybody's human and mistakes are made, so we just go above and beyond to make sure our client's getting exactly what we would install on our own property. And this blends together with product selection, which is very important. Now, most permits come through with products already selected. They already selected the filter, they already selected this and that, and most of it's usually fine. However, at the end of the day, we, the installer, are responsible for this system. So if we see a product in a design or a method in a design or anything to do with the design that we feel jeopardizes the quality, cost efficiency, or durability, we start making phone calls and sending emails to make sure we can get approval to use the products that we know are going to perform, be efficient, as well as be durable. Septic installation has a lot to do with the methods and procedures that a company uses. Soil conditions are one of the most major things when it comes to septic installations. You can't do them when the soils are too wet, or the soils will compact and smear and it won't allow wastewater to absorb into it, at the design rate. Little details like making sure we don't have footprints in the trench where we're installing the stone and aggregate. Methods and procedures to make sure we're getting the exact right amount of materials in and meeting the regulations. I think one of the biggest headaches in the septic installation industry is the weather. If you're in the North Midwest, you may deal with frozen conditions for several months. Here on Delmarva, our main weather issue is dampness or wetness of the soils. And in the wintertime, it's a lot more of a problem than it is in the summertime. But the condition of the soils is absolutely everything. And being detailed about how you monitor these soils and how you deal with these soils, as well as balancing your customers' demands as far as, they have a settlement to meet, they need to get it in. However, you know that you can't get it in until those soils are correct. We really focus in on the details when it comes to this area. Product selection is huge when it comes to pumps in the septic industry. Marketing people are great at their job. They make every pump seem equal or better. And the fact is, that's just not the truth. Some products, when it comes to pumps and electrical equipment, just perform a whole lot better, even if you're not factoring in the cost. Specs on a spec sheet will not get it done for you in this area. You have to have the experience. You have to have those warranty service calls. You have to have a track history of knowing how a product will perform. And we focus in on monitoring those details and making sure we're picking products that are the best for our clients that we would install at our own home. Another one of the major areas when it comes to septic installations is the quality of the aggregate or the stone that you're using. In this case, we are using stone. It's vital to make sure that stone is clean, free of fine debris, and is the proper size in order to keep the system from failing prematurely. One of the biggest factors where we focus in on details is our office management. We go through strenuous procedures to make sure our clients are getting return phone calls promptly, because at the end of the day, that is probably one of the biggest reasons we hear that people get frustrated with other companies is they can't get a response. Responding to emails promptly. Record keeping is vital. We have custom built software just to make sure we have great record keeping. And this allows us to make sure we have everything documented, all the vitals, all the important stuff, and we can always go back and reference them. And another thing we do is we use technology to the absolute best that we can to make sure we're producing the most efficient environment as well as the best quality environment for all of our clients, our office staff, and our field staff. I think the biggest thing that we have when it comes to details is our staff cares. They care about the details. They care about making sure our customers are happy. They care about our customers getting the best product they possibly can get. And they care about the safety both on the job site and getting to and from the job site and at our shop. And they have a hunger to make sure they're paying better attention to the details than anyone else in the business.